Bismillah. Welcome back to the Inspired Muslim, a place where we don't rush faith, we build it. If you're watching this right now, take a moment and really let this sink in. Allah allowed you to be alive, aware, and thinking about Ramadan before it arrives. That alone is not random. That is mercy. That is selection. That is an invitation many people don't even realize they missed. Ramadan is not just a date on the calendar. It is not just a routine of fasting, eating, and sleeping differently. Ramadan is a divine appointment, a season where the gates of mercy are opened wide, sins are forgiven, hearts are softened, and lives are rewritten. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't talk about: Ramadan does not benefit everyone equally. Two people can fast the same number of days, pray the same prayers, and still leave Ramadan with completely different outcomes. Before we go any further, if you're someone who wants a Ramadan that actually changes you, not just one that passes, then make sure you subscribe to the Inspired Muslim. This channel is for heart preparation, real reminders, and faith that fits real life. Stay with us through this Ramadan journey. You don't have to walk it alone. Why? Because Ramadan rewards are not accidental. They are prepared for. Too many people wait for the first night of Ramadan to suddenly become spiritual. They wait for hunger to fix their hearts, for tiredness to humble their souls, and for long prayers to create sincerity. Then halfway through Ramadan, they feel burnt out, distracted, and disappointed. They say things like, "This Ramadan doesn't feel the same," or "I don't feel connected anymore." But the problem was never Ramadan. The problem was entering Ramadan unprepared. The 30 days before Ramadan are not just days. They are a training ground. They are Allah giving you time to slow down, reflect, and realign your life before the greatest month of the year arrives. Think about it. Allah does not drop Ramadan on us suddenly. He lets it approach gradually so our hearts can wake up, our habits can shift, and our intentions can mature. On the Inspired Muslin, we believe something powerful. Backhand index pointing right: the Ramadan you experience is the Ramadan you prepare for. If you prepare your heart, Ramadan softens you. If you prepare your habits, Ramadan strengthens you. If you prepare your intentions, Ramadan transforms you. This preparation is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming intentional. It's about asking yourself honest questions before Ramadan exposes your weaknesses. Questions like: what habits are silently draining my Āmīn? What sins do I keep postponing repentance for? What kind of Muslim do I want to be when Ramadan ends? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Because Ramadan is not meant to be a pause from sin, it is meant to be a departure from it. And departures require packing, planning, and direction. The beauty of preparing early is that you don't rush worship, you grow into it. Your al becomes steady before Ramadan, so it becomes sweeter during Ramadan. Your Quran recitation begins slowly, so it becomes consistent in Ramadan. Your heart softens before the fasting begins, so hunger refines you instead of frustrating you. And let's be real, life doesn't pause for Ramadan. Responsibilities, stress, school, work, family, and distractions don't disappear. That's exactly why preparation matters. When your foundation is strong, Ramadan doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like relief. So in this video on the Inspired Muslin, we're not just listing things to do. We are walking through a journey, a 30-day spiritual build-up designed to help you enter Ramadan calm, focused, and ready. This is about winning Ramadan before it starts, so when the moon is sighted, your heart is already standing at the door, ready to receive the gift. If you stay till the end of this video and apply even a few of these steps, your Ramadan will not be ordinary. It will be intentional. It will be meaningful. And most importantly, it will be accepted, by the permission of Allah. Now take a deep breath. Clear your mind. And let's begin preparing for the Ramadan that could change everything. Crescent moon sparkles. If you want, next I can. Expand Phase 1, Heart Reset, even deeper. Add emotional transitions between phases. Insert subscribe reminders naturally. Or rewrite this in a more dramatic/cinematic voiceover style. Just tell me the vibe, you're building something powerful here. Rocket. 1. Heart Reset, 30 to 21 days before Ramadan. Before fasting touches your stomach, before Quran fills your hands, before nights of prayer tire your body, Allah looks at the heart. That's why the first phase of preparing for Ramadan is not physical, not public, and not visible to people. It is internal. Quiet. Honest. This is where real transformation begins. The heart reset is about removing spiritual noise. It's about slowing down long enough to notice what has been weighing you down. Because if the heart enters Ramadan distracted, wounded, or attached to sin, even the best worship can feel empty. But when the heart is reset, even small actions feel heavy with reward. 1. Renewing your intention, Niyya, choosing your Ramadan. Everything in Islam begins with intention, and Ramadan is no different. Before anything else, you need to sit with yourself, no phone, no distractions, and ask one serious question: why do I want Ramadan? Not why you fast every year. Not why everyone around you is excited. But why you want it. When you renew your Niyya, you're choosing your Ramadan instead of drifting into it. You tell Allah, I want this month to change me. You decide whether Ramadan will be about routine or renewal, hunger or healing, culture or closeness to Allah. This intention doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be sincere. On the Inspired Muslin, we always emphasize this: a clear intention gives direction to your effort. When you know what you're seeking, whether it's forgiveness, consistency, or reconnection, your worship stops feeling random. Write your intention down. Say it in dua. Repeat it often. Because when Ramadan gets hard, your intention is what keeps you going. 2. Sincere Tawbah, cleaning the heart before the month of mercy. After intention comes repentance, real repentance. Not rushed words. Not casual phrases. But a deep, honest return to Allah. Tawbah before Ramadan is powerful because it removes barriers between you and Allah before the flood of mercy arrives. Every sin leaves a mark on the heart. Over time, those marks make worship feel heavy, dua feel distant, and Quran feel dry. Tawbah wipes those marks away. It softens the heart again. And the most beautiful part? Allah doesn't just accept repentance. He loves it. This is the moment where you stop pretending you're okay and start being real with Allah. You admit where you slipped. You acknowledge habits you normalized. You ask Allah to forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because He promised mercy. And you make a sincere intention to try again, even if you're scared of failing. Entering Ramadan with a repenting heart is like entering a garden after rain. Everything grows faster. Everything feels alive again. 3. Fixing your relationship with Allah, rebuilding the foundation. If Ramadan were a building, Allah would be its foundation. You cannot build high if the base is cracked. That's why Phase 1 focuses heavily on prayer, not adding more, but fixing what's already obligatory. This is the time to be honest about your Allah. Are you delaying it without reason? Rushing it? Praying physically but not mentally present? Ramadan magnifies whatever already exists. Weak Allah before Ramadan becomes weaker during it. Strong Allah before Ramadan becomes powerful during it. So start simple. Focus on praying on time. Even if your focus isn't perfect yet, show up. Stand before Allah knowing you are responding to His call. With each prayer, remind yourself, this is a private meeting with my Creator. As you rebuild consistency, something shifts. Prayer stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like an anchor. And when Ramadan comes, with long nights and early mornings, Allah no longer feels heavy. It feels familiar. 4. Identifying and letting go of major sins, making space for barakah. Every heart knows its own struggle. There is always that one habit, that one attachment, that one sin we avoid confronting. Phase 1 is where you stop running from it. This is not about shaming yourself. It's about choosing freedom. Because sin doesn't just displease Allah, it steals your energy, clouds your heart, and blocks barakah. Ramadan is too precious to enter while holding on to what drains you. You don't have to quit everything overnight. What matters is starting the separation. Reducing exposure. Creating distance. Making do for strength. And reminding yourself that whatever you give up for Allah, Allah replaces with something better, peace, clarity, or strength you didn't expect. When you let go before Ramadan, fasting becomes lighter. Prayer becomes sweeter. And discipline feels natural instead of forced. Why Phase 1 matters. Phase 1 doesn't look impressive to people. There's no announcement. No visible achievement. But in the sight of Allah, this phase is massive. It's the unseen work that makes the seen worship meaningful. On the Inspired Muslin, we believe this deeply. Backhand index pointing right. A heart that prepares early receives Ramadan fully. When the heart is reset, Ramadan doesn't overwhelm you, it welcomes you. 2. Habit building, 20 to 11 days before Ramadan. Once the heart begins to soften, the next step is training the body and mind to follow it. This is where many people struggle, not because they lack sincerity, but because habits don't change overnight. That's exactly why Allah gives us time before Ramadan. Phase 2 is not about pushing yourself to extremes. It's about building rhythm, so when Ramadan arrives, worship feels natural instead of forced. Think of this phase like stretching before a long journey. If you rush into Ramadan without preparing your habits, you burn out quickly. But if you train gently and consistently, Ramadan carries you instead of crushing you. 5. Starting voluntary fasting, training the soul before the obligation. One of the most powerful ways to prepare for Ramadan is to fast voluntarily before it begins. Fasting Mondays and Thursdays, or even just a few days, reminds your body and soul what restraint feels like. It teaches patience before patience becomes mandatory. Hunger has a way of revealing the self. It shows you how quickly you get irritated, distracted, or tired. But it also teaches humility. When you fast before Ramadan, you're not just training your stomach, you're training your reactions, your emotions, and your reliance on Allah. By the time Ramadan arrives, fasting no longer feels like a shock. Your body recognizes the rhythm. Your heart understands the purpose. And instead of complaining, you begin fasting with awareness and gratitude. On the Inspired Muslin, we always say, fasting before Ramadan turns obligation into readiness. 6. Reconnecting with the Quran, turning a stranger into a companion. Many people dream of finishing the Quran in Ramadan, but struggle because they haven't touched it in months. Phase 2 is about removing that barrier. This is where you gently reintroduce the Quran into your daily life, not as a task, but as a companion. Start small. A few verses. A page. Even listening attentively counts. The goal is not speed, it's connection. Let the Quran speak to you again. Let its words settle in your heart. Reflect on meanings. Pause when something hits deep. When you reconnect with the Quran before Ramadan, something beautiful happens. In Ramadan, recitation feels lighter. Reflection feels deeper. And finishing the Quran feels meaningful, not rushed. Ramadan becomes a conversation with Allah, not a checklist. If this is already helping your heart slow down and refocus, take a second to subscribe to the Inspired Muslim. Everything we share here is about preparing for Ramadan the right way, heart first, habit second, life aligned. Subscribing means you'll keep getting reminders like this exactly when you need them. 7. increasing dhikr, filling the gaps with remembrance. Life is full of small, empty moments, waiting, walking, sitting, scrolling. Phase 2 teaches you to fill those moments with remembrance. Dhikr doesn't require a special place or time. It only requires awareness. Simple phrases, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Astaghfirullah, carry massive weight. They cleanse the heart, calm the mind, and draw you closer to Allah without exhausting you. When dhikr becomes a habit before Ramadan, fasting days feel spiritually full instead of empty. Over time, you'll notice something shift. Your heart feels lighter. Your stress softens. And your connection to Allah feels constant, not limited to prayer times. This is one of the hidden secrets of a powerful Ramadan. 8. Cleaning up the tongue, protecting your future fast. One of the most overlooked preparations for Ramadan is controlling speech. The tongue is small, but its impact is massive. Gossip, arguments, sarcasm, lying, and harsh words weaken worship, even when fasting. Phase 2 is where you become mindful of how you speak. You pause before reacting. You choose silence over unnecessary words. You stop yourself mid-sentence when speech leads toward sin. This is not weakness, it's discipline. When you train your tongue before Ramadan, your fast becomes protected. Hunger doesn't turn into anger. Silence turns into reflection. And speech becomes intentional. On the Inspired Muslin, we remind you, fasting is not just from food, it's from everything that displeases Allah. Why Phase 2 matters. Phase 2 builds the engine of your Ramadan. Without habits, intentions stay trapped in the heart. But with habits, intentions turn into action. This phase teaches consistency over intensity. It teaches patience over pressure. And most importantly, it prepares you to enter Ramadan already moving, so you don't waste the first 10 days adjusting. When habits are built early, Ramadan doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels familiar. It feels welcoming. It feels like home. 3. Lifestyle alignment, 10 to 1 days before Ramadan. As Ramadan draws closer, preparation becomes more practical and intentional. This phase is not about adding new acts of worship, it's about removing obstacles. By now, your heart is softer and your habits are forming. Phase 3 ensures that nothing blocks the flow when Ramadan finally arrives. These final days are like clearing a path before a guest enters your home. You don't want clutter. You don't want noise. You want space. Space for focus, worship, and sincerity. Lifestyle alignment is about shaping your environment so it supports your Āmīn instead of fighting it. Fixing sleep and daily rhythm, protecting your energy for worship. One of the biggest struggles people face in Ramadan is exhaustion, not from worship, but from poor preparation. Late nights, chaotic routines, and constant screen time drain energy before Ramadan even starts. Phase 3 is where you slowly reset your rhythm. You begin sleeping earlier, waking earlier, and reducing unnecessary late nights. This isn't about strict schedules, it's about intention. You want your body to support your worship, not resist it. When your sleep improves, your focus in prayer improves. Your patience improves. Your fasting becomes easier. A rested body allows the heart to be present. And presence is the soul of worship. Detaching from excess entertainment, creating silence for the heart. Ramadan thrives in quiet hearts. But modern life is loud. Endless scrolling, constant notifications, background noise, these things slowly numb the soul. Phase 3 invites you to step back. This doesn't mean disappearing from life. It means choosing intentionally. Reducing screen time. Turning off what doesn't benefit you. Creating moments of silence where reflection can grow. When entertainment decreases, awareness increases. By the time Ramadan arrives, your heart feels less restless. You don't reach for distraction automatically. You find comfort in stillness. And worship feels deeper, not rushed. Planning your Ramadan worship, turning hope into direction. Hope without a plan often turns into regret. Many people hope Ramadan will change them, but don't decide how. Phase 3 is where you plan with flexibility and sincerity. You decide when you'll read Quran. When you'll make dua. When you'll give charity. This planning is not about pressure, it's about clarity. Even a simple plan creates consistency. On the Inspired Muslin, we remind you, a planned Ramadan is not rigid, it's focused. Planning protects you from wasting time and energy. It allows worship to flow naturally into your day. Preparing your home spiritually, letting your environment support you. Your surroundings shape your actions. Phase 3 is where you prepare not just yourself, but your space. You create prayer corners. Play Quran softly. Encourage family involvement. Reduce distractions where possible. When your home reflects Ramadan, worship becomes easier. You're reminded constantly of why this month matters. Your family feels included. Your environment becomes an extension of your intention. A spiritually prepared home welcomes Ramadan the way a clean heart does, with readiness and joy. Why Phase 3 completes the journey. Phase 3 turns preparation into peace. It aligns your life with your intention. It ensures Ramadan meets you ready, not exhausted. On the Inspired Muslin, we believe this deeply. Backhand index pointing right. When your life aligns with your faith, worship becomes natural. And when worship becomes natural, Ramadan becomes transformative. As we come to the end of this journey here on the Inspired Muslin, take a moment and reflect, not on how much you plan to do in Ramadan, but on who you are becoming before it begins. Because Ramadan does not come to create a new version of you out of nothing. It comes to reveal what you prepared. If you've started resetting your heart, building better habits, and aligning your life, even imperfectly, know this, Allah sees it. Every intention you renewed, every sin you tried to leave, every moment you chose remembrance over distraction has already been written as worship. Preparation itself is ibadah. Ramadan is not about pressure. It's about permission to return, to reset, to realign. You don't need to be flawless to be accepted. You just need to be sincere. And sincerity is something Allah never ignores. So don't enter Ramadan chasing perfection. Enter it with humility. Enter it with hope. Enter it knowing that the same Allah who invited you to prepare is the one who will carry you through the month. If this Ramadan ends and your heart is softer, your prayers are steadier, and your relationship with Allah is stronger, even by a little, then you have succeeded. That is real victory. May this Ramadan not pass us by while we remain unchanged. May it be the turning point we've been asking Allah for, even when we didn't know how to ask. And before you leave, remember to stay connected with the Inspired Muslin. If this preparation helped your heart, share it with someone you love. You never know whose Ramadan might change because you chose to pass this on. Do, a prayer to enter Ramadan accepted and transformed. O Allah, Lord of the heavens and the earth. The one who controls time, hearts, and destinies. We thank you for allowing us to reach these days before Ramadan. O Allah, if our hearts are heavy, lighten them. If they are distracted, gather them. If they are distant, pull them back to you gently. O Allah, forgive us for the sins we remember and the sins we forgot. Forgive us for the prayers we delayed. The words we spoke without thought. And the moments we chose the dunya over you. O Allah, let this Ramadan not be ordinary for us. Do not let us fast without reward. Or pray without presence. Or recite Quran without reflection. O Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan in good health. With hearts ready to worship. And souls eager to obey. Plant sincerity in our intentions. Steadiness in our prayers. discipline in our fasting, and light in our hearts. O Allah, help us leave behind the habits that pull us away from you, and replace them with love for what brings us closer to you. And when Ramadan ends, O Allah, do not let our Āmīn end with it. Let the changes stay. Let the growth continue. Let the closeness remain. Accept from us, even though our deeds are small. Forgive us, even though our mistakes are many. And write us among those whose Ramadan was accepted. Āmīn, Āmīn, Āmīn. If this video touched your heart in any way, don't let this be the end of the journey. Subscribe to the Inspired Muslim, share this with someone you care about, and let's walk toward Ramadan together, intentionally, sincerely, and with hope. You never know. This might be the Ramadan that changes everything.